7 planes of the Vedas. There is much similarity between the 7 planes described in the Vedanta and the 6 centers of yoga. The first 3 planes of the Vedas may be compared to the first 3 yogic centers, namely Muladhara, Svadhisthana, and Manipura. With ordinary people, the mind dwells in these 3 planes, at the organs of evacuation and generation and at the navel. When the mind ascends to the 4th plane, the center designated in yoga as Anahata, it sees the individual soul as a flame. Besides, it sees light. At this the aspirant cries, "Ah, what is this? Ah, what is this?" When the mind rises to the 5th plane, the aspirant wants to hear only about God. This is the Vishuddha center of yoga. The 6th plane and the center known by the yogi as Ajna are one and the same. When the mind rises there, the aspirant sees God, but still there is a barrier between God and the devotee. It is like the barrier of glass in a lantern, which keeps one from touching the light. King Janaka used to give instruction about Brahmajnana from the 5th plane. Sometimes he dwelt on the 5th plane, and sometimes on the 6th. After passing the 6 centers, the aspirant arrives at the 7th plane. Reaching it, the mind merges in Brahman. The individual soul and the Supreme Soul become one. The aspirant goes into samadhi. His consciousness of the body disappears. He loses the knowledge of the outer world. He does not see the manifold anymore. His reasoning comes to a stop. Trailanga Swami once said that because a man reasons, he is conscious of multiplicity, of variety. Attaining samadhi, one gives up the body in 21 days. Spiritual consciousness is not possible without the awakening of the Kundalini. A man who has realized God shows certain characteristics. He becomes like a child or a madman, or an inert thing or a ghoul. Further, he is firmly convinced that he is the machine and God is its operator. That God alone is the doer and all others are his instruments. As some Sikh devotees once said to me, even the leaf moves because of God's will. One should be aware that everything happens by the will of Rama. The weaver said, the price of the cloth, by the will of Rama, is 1 rupee 6 annas. By the will of Rama the robbery was committed. By the will of Rama the robbers were arrested. By the will of Rama I too was arrested by the police. And at last, by the will of Rama, I was released. It was dusk. Sri Ramakrishna had had no rest since his midday meal. He had talked unceasingly to the devotees about God. At last the visitors took their leave and went home.